events like this. So whenever I have a chance to see or attend this type of event, I'm very proud, not only of the performers, but also very proud to be a Korean American. As you all know, our country has gone through a lot of changes, especially in the last 10 to 15 years. When I was younger, I very rarely saw an Asian face on the TV or in the movies. And if I did, it was usually only in an ethnic role or a stereotypical role. Now, as you know, when you turn on the TV, when you look in the newspapers, you see Asian faces in advertisements, in music, in sports, movies, and TV shows everywhere. So we've changed a lot, and we've come a long way. However, it's still a beginning, and we need to improve on that. One thing in particular I'm very proud of is to see more and more Asian politicians coming out. As you will hear later today, I'm very proud that one of my best friends, BJ Pak, is running for the Georgia State House of Representatives. He's the first Korean American to run for the Georgia General Assembly, and he'll be speaking to us later tonight. I've been asked to talk tonight about diversity and cultural awareness. Diversity, as we know, should not just be about numbers. As you know, schools and corporations, whenever they talk about diversity, they talk about it in percentages. Schools will say, our school is A% African American, B% Asian American, C% Hispanic, etc. That's a good start. Bringing together people of different backgrounds all in the same room is a good beginning. But again, it's only a beginning. Several years back, there was a movie called Mean Girls. The main person in that movie was a new student at a high school, and she was being shown around. There's a scene in the movie where they go to the cafeteria. In the school cafeteria, you have people from all different backgrounds. However, they're all sitting at different tables. The main character's guide says, if you look at that table, you see the jocks and the cheerleaders. That table, you see the band geeks. This other table is where you see the rich kids and the preps. This table is where the African Americans are. That one is where the skaters and stoners are. Here are the cool Asian kids. There are the nerdy Asian kids, and so forth. So of course, it's a movie. It's an exaggeration. But sometimes, it's a little bit true. Even though we're all gathered together in the same room with people of other backgrounds, we don't often interact with each other as much as we should, which is why diversity is simply a beginning. And even though things have changed a lot over the last several years, we need to build upon that. I think that's where cultural awareness becomes important. As you know, we're all Korean-Americans. The reality is that we can't be overly Korean or completely Korean because we live in the United States. We're expected to be good citizens and to participate in our community and our society. At the same time, we can't be completely the stereotypical American because our faces are Asian. People expect us to bring in different ideas and different backgrounds to the table. So the challenge is, as I heard in a speech several years ago, the speaker called it living in the hyphen, Korean-American. How do you find that balance between being a Korean and being an American? Because the point is that once you're aware of your background and you're confident in yourself, then you have the ability and the comfortability in leaving your section of the cafeteria and interacting with everybody else in the room. My personal experience, my family came to the United States in 1972, and I grew up in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, which is near the Arkansas border. Growing up, I had only white friends. I worked really hard to fit in, and I think I succeeded quite well. But I wanted to know more about my Korean heritage. So one of my motivating factors was I wanted to go to a place where I could meet not just Koreans, but people from different backgrounds. And fortunately, I found that at Harvard University. But over there, it was definitely at first a big cultural shock to me. Meeting other Koreans for the first time, I found out since most of them were from the Northeast, Chicago, California, that I listened to different music than they did, I spoke a little differently from they did, and I had different hobbies and interests. And so I challenged myself to learn more about my background. And in fact, after college, I spent 2 years working in Korea because I wanted to learn how to speak Korean and also learn more about my parents' background in that way. One thing I'd like to encourage you right now is that events like this are great. You have the opportunity to explore Korean cultural heritage, especially in this international world where you have a mixing of different cultures together. I saw in the program there's going to be a rap program, dance program, and I think you can see the various elements all mixed together of American culture and also Korean culture, which is very good. But at the same time, I want to encourage all of you that at this time, when you're young, you have time and you have energy, if you think there's an opportunity out there that you have not yet explored, take time to do that. I know a lot of you are thinking about working right away, going to graduate school. Maybe your parents won't like me saying this, but take some time off before you go to graduate school if you want to go to Korea or another country, or do something that'll help you develop more as a person. Because what it comes down to is that when you're back in the analogy of being in a cafeteria with a lot of people from different backgrounds, you need to intermix and communicate with each other. Especially now, as you know, the United States is having a lot of problems. For many years, the United States has been the leader, and I think that one of our greatest strengths is that we have people from different backgrounds contributing and working together to make this country great. But we have a set of unique problems that we need to overcome, and this is where I think that you are all going to be very important. The good thing about our country is that because we have such diversity, and we have people from different backgrounds, is that we have many different ideas. If you have a group of people who all from the same background, went to the same school, same parents, and think the same way, they're not going to come up with different and unique answers for solving certain problems, or it's going to be harder for them to do so. However, when you have an opportunity to get people who think differently, with different heritages, who can look at a problem from different approaches, then you are more likely to think outside of the box as a group and come up with a solution that can help our country go better and we can overcome our problems together. So I just want to encourage all of you to please explore whatever it is that you feel like has not been explored. Become more comfortable with yourself and to realize that the goal is to become a Korean American, to find that balance that you're comfortable with so that you can intermingle and work with everyone else to make everything better. Good luck in all your endeavors, and thank you very much.